Hey y'all. So, if you passed, I say 7th grade biology, or maybe 5th grade biology, I don't remember, you be familiar with the nervous system. It's basically the control center for our whole body. It's why we're able to taste, why we're able to feel, why we're able to do all of that stuff. But there's something even more important. Did you know that you also have a spiritual nervous system? And there's a few things that God can be trying to tell you through that. Now, for myself, as a part-time preacher myself, I get a little nervous about messages sometimes. And the Lord tried to tell me, well, in my own personal life, He tried to tell me three things. There, there could be infinitely more that He's trying to tell you, but just in my personal life, three top things. Either wait on the message, meditate on what you're going to say more, or maybe God will reveal something to you throughout the week that you just feel the message isn't complete, and God will reveal something to you throughout the week to complete it if you're patient. Or it could be you're not meant to speak on that particular message yet. The message is fine, but you're not meant to speak on it just yet. Or it could be, and this happened to me at a church one time, I forget what I was originally going to preach on, but song came on, I had been thinking about another message, and I just felt the tug of the spirit to preach on something totally different than what I was gonna speak about. Well, maybe not totally different, I don't remember. But I came on here prepared to give you some tips on how to discern what God's telling you. Maybe some hacks, if you will, to tell what God's to see what God's telling you. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized there's not really any special technique that you have to have. I mean, Jesus himself said it best in Matthew 13:9. He said, "He who has ears to hear, let him hear." It talks about eyes and other words too, but I looked it up and I just couldn't find it. But the message is still the same, really. There's no special technique that you need to hear, other than that you need to have, other than what this says right here. Listen, be sensitive, be open, and be patient to what the Lord is telling you. Sometimes it may even be painful what the Lord tells you to do, but when you feel a touch from Him, you'll know it immediately. You won't second guess it. You won't think, "Oh, is this really the Lord, or is this someone else?" No, you'll just know it. And a lot of that did come from experience. I mean, not that I'm the most experienced guy in the world, but through my 3 years on this YouTube channel and through my preaching at various churches, God has really revealed to me Himself in a more in a more pragmatic and personal and active way. He's really revealed to me what he can say, shown to me what he can say, and he can say the same to y'all too. You just have to be patient, discerning, and discernment is important. Yeah, like when I say there's no special skill or no special thing that you have to have, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about discernment really. It's very important that you discern these three voices. Well, the same voice, but that you discern these three messages rather. And also, it's very important for you to discern when the devil is speaking to you. Now, the devil, the one of the only weapons he has against you is self-doubt, self-despair. Maybe you get down on yourself and you say, oh, this message isn't that good. I'm not that good of a, or I'm not that good of a Christian. How dare I speak on this or that thing? Self-despair and self-deprecation, like I say, is one of the most powerful and effective things that the devil has. But that is never from God. God may tell you to wait. God may even tell you to God may even tell you not to preach on it. Just right now. Or maybe there's some other element that you need. But God will never fill your heart and mind with despair because He loves you and He cares for you more than anything, really. The messages of God are are really for everyone. Like I say, there's no special ordinance that you have to have. There's no special connection that you have to have. My old Bible school teacher, Sunday school teacher, used to tell me that I had a direct line to God. And as flattering as that is, as flattering as that is for me to hear, well, I'm no different than anyone else. I mean, everyone is capable of having that God sight and that God moment if we're just patient and we just pay attention and you're sensitive to what He's telling you, no matter how painful it may be. If you're sensitive to what He's telling you, then I guarantee you that He'll give you more than you ever thought you wanted or that you ever thought you needed. Your cup will run over because you paid attention, you're sensitive, you're faithful. And God will not forget that. God will not forget your struggle. And maybe where you're at right now isn't is a season of waiting, it's a season of patience, and maybe not exactly where you thought you'd be. That's why it's that's why it's so vital in those moments to discern the voices and the messages of God for your life. Because He'll never abandon you. I mean, He's brought you. If God brings you as far as in this world, then He will never abandon you. You've got His seal of approval that He'll never abandon you, no matter how far you think you've fallen, no matter what you've done, no matter what you think you've done. God will never abandon you, and yet you physically turn your back on Him and you don't look back. And not even then, God just gracious enough to let you go your own way. He's not going to turn His back on you, He's just gracious enough to let you go your own way. Now, going His way will have way more benefits in the long run, especially in the eternal long run. But you've got to make the decision ultimately to be sensitive to see God and to hear God. You have eyes to see and you have ears to hear. You can shut God out if you want to, but I don't recommend it. Whatever the devil is promising you and whatever the devil is telling you is not worth God ultimately has more for you. Guys, I love you. God bless you. And I'll see you next week.